Happy Sunday! Alright, time to have breakfast. I made my favorite smoothie again. As I told you guys before, there's a link for this down below in the description. You just sign up for my email newsletter and you can get that. I'm putting peanut butter, carob powder, and maca powder like I did yesterday, but today, since it's a little earlier, I'm also going to add some green tea powder. You can get that on my website too. You guys can sort of see I get on these patterns where I do every few days kind of the same thing and then I switch it up. So this has been awesome for me lately, keeping me very satisfied and not too cravey. So yeah! It's cold up here. Whoa! I almost died just then.
Away, 4.
Oh! I could just blame it on the video.
Oh, 4. Away, 4.
It's mine. Alright, mentioned on the last of my mushrooms while I prepare soup and a salad. I'm also going to make these cauliflower and broccoli roasted. I'm having this awesome soup. I'm going to make some more, the last of the mushrooms that I have. Lunchtime. Right. One note about these mushrooms I've been making, these roasted mushrooms. I made both the portobello, these are like the big stuffer ones I've been using, and then these were smaller but so white, the white button type mushrooms. The portobello ones you would think would have more flavor, but when you roast them, actually the white mushrooms, they get sort of caramelized and they're sweet and amazing after you roast them. And by the way, the white button mushrooms have just as much nutrition as the other ones, and they're one of the top foods for immunity as far as cancer-fighting properties and all the good stuff that you want to get from mushrooms. White button are just as good as the portobellos or creminis, etc. So get the white button, then you can save some money, and they taste amazing. All right, the vegetables are done, you guys. I did them the same as I do the mushrooms for the 400 degrees, or this is sort of like 390, 400 degrees for 20 minutes. Same with the broccoli and the cauliflower. They're perfect, still a little bit crunchy. The broccoli is getting a little browning, but they're not blackened, which is good because blackened is bad for you. What I'm going to do is just for these guys, I'm going to ball them up a little bit with the foil so they can kind of steam just a tiny bit while they're cooling off. These I'm just going to let them cool off and put them back in my container, and then yum, let's eat them. Yum. Alright, now the thing about roasted vegetables, mushrooms are not included because mushrooms must be cooked because of the bacteria and the agarotine, which is something that is possibly carcinogenic. However, roasting regular vegetables like carrots or broccoli or cauliflower, what it does is it breaks them down a little bit so you don't get as much nutrition out of them. So it's not as good to roast, but if you're somebody who's just starting into the lifestyle, roasting is the way to go because the raw flavor of vegetables is not as appealing when you're not kind of used to it and your taste buds aren't sensitive enough. If you're a little desensitized by salt or oil or sugar or things like that, it's going to be harder for you to taste the nice complex flavors in raw broccoli or raw cauliflower. Now, I have to say, anyways, even having been a nutritarian for a long time, I'm not a huge fan of raw broccoli. I love raw cauliflower, and I'll eat raw broccoli on occasion if it's really, really chopped up, but I'm not a huge fan of it. But roasting So what it does is it sort of develops those flavors, caramelizes the flavors if there's any sugars in there, and then it'll just sort of make it it's just a completely different flavor. So you should really try roasting, especially now that fall's coming around. It's time to roast. You could always have something roasting every few days. It's so easy, as I just showed you. Just turn the oven on 400 degrees, use foil. You don't need any oil. That's the best part, because they can be these are completely nutritarian. No oil, no salt, nothing. You can use any kind of spice mix that you want, but I would suggest putting the spice mix on at this point, because like right now it's just they're sort of they're warm and they're cooling off, but they're kind of steaming themselves. So this would be a great time to put some spice mix on if you wanted to put some nutritional yeast, or and Mrs. Dash or something like that is great for a spice mix. But do that at the end, because spices can sometimes burn in the oven, and that's annoying because you've just got a bunch of burnt spice all over the place and you wasted it basically. And also roasted carrots, roasted onions, roasted mushrooms, all of these things, you guys. Everything roasted always tastes so much better, so give it a shot. You can always have them just in a container in your fridge and just eat them as a snack like I do while I'm preparing other meals. And I'm going to get to lunch now. I've got my soup ready to go, and my salad is ready. Just going to put the dressing on, and yum! I did romaine, kale, green onions, scallions, and then corn. I'm just going to put the dressing on and eat. And I'm having some kombucha to drink along with my soup and my huge salad. This salad is like 5 or 6 cups worth of salad probably, or more. Wowzers. Bon appetit. Done. Uh-oh.